Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today for a Friday fun stretch and recovery. Guess what? I have a special guest. No introduction? Alright.
I'm taking the whole silent stretch.
Silent stretch. Alright, well we're going to keep it a little mellow today. It's Friday before a nice long weekend here. Let's get down into our position. We're already seated. If you're not, come on down here and join us. We're going to go legs outstretched nice and long. Hands together, and again, we're not going to reach too far. Just let those fingertips come forward. And as soon as you start to feel some tension, that's where I want you to hold it. Try to keep your knees nice and loose. Also, while you're here, take stock of where those fingertips are right now. So we're starting the day wherever those fingertips are. For me, it's just below mid-shin, not quite my ankle yet. And then sit back nice and slow. One more time, reach those fingertips forward. See if you can get just a little bit farther. Again, we're not reaching for hard. We're just extending the hands till we start feeling some tension. Good, up nice and slow. All right, now we're gonna go right into our single limb. So right foot's gonna come on the inside of our left thigh. We're gonna concentrate on taking this outside knee as low to the floor as we can. Once we get it in a comfortable position, same leg, same arm, reach down for that toe. If you can get a toe, great. If not, grab a shin, grab an ankle, or just reach out front like this as far as you can. Luckily, I can grab a toe.
How flat do you try to keep it back while we do this?
I like to round it because it
I feel
feels
like
like
I'm-
it pulls a little bit more.
Yeah.
Good, slowly release. And we're gonna transition right to the other side. So left foot comes in that right thigh. Left knee, we're trying to keep it down to the floor. Right hand goes to those right toes. And pull. Now you may start to notice one side's a little more flexible than the other. That's okay. Just means we gotta stretch that other side a little bit more.
Got you beat here.
Hey dude, you're all the way down. And relax. Now let's bring both feet back to the middle, and let's see if our little warm-up helps. So take a deep breath. Exhale, reach those fingertips down towards those toes, and look at that. I can get a toe now. Hopefully you're a little farther than before. And that's just a testament to what a little bit of stretching can do in terms of making a significant difference in your overall flexibility. Good, slowly release. And as you sit up, I want you to bring those feet together in front, a good old-fashioned groin stretch, butterfly stretch, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to start with our heels as close to our inside as we can. And then once we get them in there, I want you to think about taking those knees and bringing them down to the floor. You can use your elbows to help push them down. You can just think about them getting heavier and opening up that groin. But I want you to keep them nice and wide, feet in tight. You should feel that stretch right on the inside of your thighs. I sometimes like to use my arms and pull myself in a little bit to feel that stretch a little deeper. But this is where we're going to hold it. Good. Now as you're holding, I want you to slide those feet out in front of you just a little bit. As you continue to do so, I want you to follow it with your upper body, pulling yourself down. You should feel a little less in your groin, a a little bit more in your hips and low back. Trying to fold ourselves in half here. As you continue to get lower, you can extend the feet out further, and down we go. Good. Slowly sit up. Now we're going to do another little fun test. Up to our feet we go, just again to show the power of flexibility. So feet are going to come about shoulder width, maybe even closer together than that. You can touch them if you'd like. But I want you to take a deep breath, hands up. Exhale, bend down for those toes, but don't reach. Just let your hands hang naturally. You can try to take stock where they are, just hanging, or you can bring them back towards your ankles and feet, see where they touch. But knees are locked, and just notice where those fingertips are, without even reaching. I don't want you to reach, just where they fall naturally. Okay? Stand up nice and slow. Now, if you need a chair or something to balance on, Brad and I are going to share this one. We're going to stretch our quads to actually loosen up our hamstrings. Sounds kind of counterproductive, but you'll see. So we're going to hold on to that chair with our right hand, plant our right foot, reach down by bending the right knee with our left hand, grab that left foot, and pull that heel in towards our backside nice and tight. Now hopefully you can tell where our knees are, where they're straight down underneath our body, not flared out to the side. We want to get them straight down underneath our body.
You caught me.
I did.
I was flared.
He was flared. But if your quads are that tight, maybe you just had a leg day or a hard workout, they might be too tight to get underneath. So flaring is okay in that regard, but our goal is to get underneath, and then if that's not enough of stretch, then you can let that knee fall straight backwards, and you can feel that quad really tight, and there you go. I like to bend my right knee too, keep it nice and loose. It helps with the balance, and it helps me really stretch that left side. Good. Slowly release. And we're going to switch. You get to see from the back. Left hand, left foot, bend, hold, grab the right foot, pull that heel in. Again, if you got to start out wide, that's okay. But the first two goals should be heel to backside and then knee underneath. Once you get there and it feels okay, you can slowly start to let that knee drift backwards. Feel that tension build in your quad. Big stretch. Good. Slowly release. Okay. So that was about 30 seconds just for our quads. Not even that long of a stretch. Now let's see how it affected our hamstrings. So let's take that deep breath, arms up. Exhale, bend down, don't reach, just hang. And oh my, I don't know about you, but I got another at least 1.5 inches, 2 inches. My fingertips are now underneath my toes, and I'm not even really reaching.
What is this? What's this yoga pose?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, gorilla or something like that?
Gorilla.
Yeah. Good, slowly stand up. Now we're going to go after those hip flexors. You want to do it seated, I'll do it standing.
Show me which one you're thinking of.
So Brad's going to demonstrate the seated hip flexor stretch just by sitting on the edge of a chair, making sure our hips are parallel. One foot comes across, and we just use our upper body to push down on that knee to get a stretch. And I'm just going to do the standing version of that, which is bending one knee, bringing it across, pushing down and through.
Yeah, I'm glad you gave me the seated one.
I know balance isn't.
Balance is
Balance is not
my strong suit.
It's not everything. Alright, so like I said, he's going to demonstrate the seated one. I'll do standing, but all we're going to do is bend our left knee slightly if you're standing. One foot comes across, in this case it's our right, and we're going to lean into it and using our hands, elbows, forearms, whatever it is, push down on the inside of that knee and feel a stretch on the outside of that hip.
That is impressive. See, I was thinking you were going to do the lunge one.
Oh, we could do that one next. See, this is why I like to bring a special guest. He reminds me of things. And switch, other side. One foot goes across.
This makes me feel like a real slacker to just be sitting here in the chair doing this while you're
Struggling with my balance.
in your yogi pose.
Namaste. Try to breathe through each stretch. Make sure you're really feeling on the outside of that hip. Should be a real kind of pinpoint point of flexion or stretching. Stretching. Good, and relax. All right, let's do the lunge one. We haven't done that one yet in my video series yet. So if you have a mat, take a couple steps to the back of it. You like to go knee floor or no?
Yes.
Okay, so do I. So we're gonna take a big step forward with our right, drop your left knee down to the floor. Once you're there, I want you to scooch that right foot up even more with your hips following that right foot. So you're starting in a normal knee up position, like you're taking a knee. Big step forward with that right foot, and then lean into it with that hip. Once you're there, like Brad's showing, you can go arm across to kind of get a little bit more comfortable, or even start to turn that upper body to really target that outside hip.
Can you grab your back foot?
No. Can you?
I mean, I could, but
The nice part about this stretch too is not only are we focusing on the right side here, obviously, but you should even feel a little bit of a stretch on the opposite hip as well.
you can't do it with the back foot raised. If you're a desk worker or
Switch sides.
multiple times a week squatter, this has got to be the number one.
Oh yeah, I think you showed me this. It's a good runner's stretch too. Very simple. Just putting your foot up on a chair while you're taking a knee, and the stretch you get in your hip and your quad, unbelievable. Very good. And since we're already back down on the mat, let's do one more with our hips. And again, this is another one Brad taught me. We're going to lie back, plant our left foot, take our right foot over top, similar to what we were just doing in the seated or standing position. And then we're going to reach through that gap with our hands, pull on the back of that left thigh, and try to raise it up. The more you pull that left leg, the more you should feel a stretch in that right hip. Again, the goal here is to try to bring that left knee in while pushing down and out with that right knee. Feel a big stretch in that right hip. Good. Slowly release and switch sides. Left goes over right. Reach down in between, pull on that right thigh. Drive that left knee out. Big stretch here. Ooh, there it is.
Cool. This is perfect timing to be squatting.
Yeah, this will open you up. And slowly release. Very good. While we're in this position too, bring those knees together. This is just one of my all-time faves. Give those knees a big hug. Pull yourself into a little ball. Or all I like to do is keep my head flat. Pull those knees in as tight as you can to your chest. Maybe you can try to roll them up a little bit towards your collarbone. You should feel a nice stretch in your glutes, hips, and release. Not a long stretch there. Okay, we're going to flip over, keep working our way up the body here. We got our legs, we got our hips. Let's start with low back. Another spot that we should all be focusing on if we're squatting, if we're highly active, if we're sitting all day. What I want you to do first is forehead goes to the floor, arms are completely outstretched. Think about taking your wrists, palms, and forearms, push down through the floor as you raise your head up. So there should be a little stretch for our neck, but also our shoulders, our lats. And this is just to kind of prime us as we slide our hands underneath our chest and press everything on up.
I like this a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one, especially if you focus on pushing down through those hands. Now, if you can't hold yourself up too long for the stretch, it's okay to go down, catch your breath, come right back up. Me personally, I like to work through it almost like a progression. So we're going to start down here, hands underneath, come up a little bit, 2, 3, back down. And it's almost like you're doing reps like an exercise. So big stretch, and down, up, big stretch, and down. Notice here too where my hips are. So I'm not just trying to lift my upper body up and having everything come up with it. We want to keep those hips, even our belly button down to the floor, and try to arch and pull everything up with it. And one more time, let me change angles again, because this will help us into my favorite transition of all time, besides a bicep curl to a shoulder press, is this big low back stretch and then popping those hips back on top of those heels into a good old-fashioned yoga pose called child pose.
I wish I retained half the information from college
Yeah.
in the way that I retained the names of these yoga poses.
Another thing to note here with this one, I really like to think about, again, palms, wrists, forearms push down through the floor. You'll really feel those lats start to stretch, the backs of your shoulders start to stretch. Very good. Now, speaking of our shoulders, Brad is just contributing almost everything to today's session, so this is really good. Now, this is a good shoulder mobility stretch for anyone who's a baseball player. What else? Football, if you're throwing. Anything.
Horseshoe player.
Horseshoe player. You want to take, remind me, make sure, call me out if I'm doing this one wrong, but your bottom arm, you're going to lay, let's start on our left side here. Bottom arm is going to come out 90 degrees from you. You're going to bring that hand up to make another 90-degree angle here. And all we're going to do is work through this range of motion, bringing our palm back to the floor as far as we can and forward to the floor as far as we can. If you can't quite get to the floor, that's what this other hand's for, to help push down gently, because you will feel a big stretch here to try to get closer to that floor. Make sure your elbow and shoulder are right in a straight line here. You want to be too far up, too far down. Oh, man. You can hold it here, or just like that back stretch we did, you can kind of work through it a couple times. I'm going to hold it here for another 10. Yeah, I don't know, close. That's crazy. Good, and release. Flip over onto your other side, which is our right. Right arm comes out. Again, make sure it's 90 degrees. 90 degrees with the hand. Come back first just to see your mobility. And then let's go forward here. Oh my goodness.
Great for those little muscles in the rotator cuff.
Yeah, I am. Not even close.
Supraspinatus.
Tell you what, it's super difficult, that's for sure. But
I laugh.
thanks.
You can't see it.
Another 10 seconds. Good, and relax. All right, back onto our stomach. We're gonna get up on all fours here. This is gonna be a chest and shoulder stretch. Again, sponsored by yours truly here. We're gonna take our right hand, reach out far as to the right we can, bend that elbow a little bit. Once you get that bend in the elbow, I want you to bring your whole body down and away from that right hand. You should really feel a stretch here, kind of high up in your chest, maybe even your bicep, your shoulder. You can drop to your elbow if you need a deeper stretch. Crawl your hand out further, whatever it takes. You just want to open up that chest and that shoulder connection. Where a lot of us are super tight from being hunched over all day. Good. Back up. Left hand goes out. Bend that elbow. Down we go. Oh my, left side. Woo!
When did you bench last?
Literally yesterday. New training PR 250.
Nice. For how many?
Once.
Singles?
Singles. Just once time. And relax. Now let's go back to our feet. Let's finish on our feet. Let's see what all that stretching did to us. So let's get our feet set how they were before. Deep breath, hands go up. Exhale and bend. And hopefully we are way past when we started. Feeling a nice deep stretch here in our hamstrings, our butt, hips, back. If you can grab a toe or an ankle, I want you to try to pull your shoulders down while you stick your back and butt up. It should be a nice stretch right there in the middle of your back. And then stop pulling, keep stretching though. And slowly start to stack your spine as you stand up. Nice and easy. Pull those shoulders back. Big pinch. Make a field goal. Hands up. And down slow. And with that, we are stretched. We are recovered. We are ready to get after a weekend full of fun and safety.
That might be the longest time I've ever sat here and stretched, and I feel pretty amazing.
He feels amazing. Hopefully you do too. As always, I'm Buzz. He's Brad. Feel free to leave a like, comment, question, new stretches that you like that you didn't see today that we can incorporate, or shoot us an email at virtualwellness@tryhealth.com. Anything else? Stay loose.